which Hope Apartments is now in. We expanded the boundaries. I'm also a mother of a daughter who has quadriplegia and has lived in this community since 2004. And she's lived at Camelot, she's lived at Hope Apartments, and she's lived at Fox Run. And that's all we've got. And they are filled. And they have waiting lists. There is no place in Greeley to move if you live in a wheelchair.
That's right.
There's nothing. When she had her accident, we converted a garage in her home, and it cost $23,000 back in 2004. It's probably double that now. So if we have got to build more accessible, affordable housing. And affordable is 30% or less of AMI. It is very affordable. It is less than $800 a month. Folks are living on Social Security making $1,200 a month. That is not enough. $800 is a huge stretch. So my charge on Greeley City Council is thinking about the growth we're having in the community. We've had 3,000 new units since 2020. How many are accessible? How many have 32-inch door wells? How many have no steps into their home? How many have an accessible bathroom? 0. We need advocacy at the city. Every time there's a housing development, we need folks to step up and say, we need some accessible housing in this development. So that my ask is, please help us at the local level, at the state level, at the county level, at all levels. We have got to step up and advocate for ourselves and our family members. Thanks.
He's using peer pressure.
This is for Dr. Reddy. Have you released the business model for this conversion? You mentioned that you were, the focus was on the population of brain injury, but I want to know if that's exclusive to Northern Colorado or if it's a nationwide audience that you're appealing to, and what kind of payment model are you pursuing for that as well?
So everybody that we serve currently and probably will continue to serve who has a brain injury, these are folks, so brain injury can be a wide spectrum, right? Like if you have a concussion that you recover from, that's also a brain injury. Those are not the folks that we serve. We serve people who years after their injury, they continue to need long-term, lifelong support. These folks, everybody that we serve is on a Medicaid waiver, so we bill Medicaid for their services. And in Colorado, this kind of support is licensed by the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. Oh, okay. So that's what we're planning to do. We do this for 18 people at Stevens Farm. We just added 2 new apartments with grant money so that we can serve 20, but that's it. We cannot add any more onto that building. And so the board's decision was to start, develop another complex that would provide the same kind of service.
But for Northern Colorado people or for nationwide?
So we haven't really said that we would demarcate in that way, but typically if inquiries come in from other parts of the country, we're not able to serve them. The whole process of having to get on a Medicaid waiver in Colorado if you're living someplace else, that's typically not who we serve. We serve people in Colorado, not necessarily in Northern Colorado because people will move. The gentleman that I was telling you about who waited 9 years after he was discharged from Craig Hospital, his family doesn't live in Greeley. But they live in Colorado, they live closer to Denver, and he moved here because Craig said, that's the only place you can go to. That's the only place we would recommend. And so it would be, and we want people in this community to be able to get the services they need. There are people here in Greeley, in Weld County, in Larimer County that have brain injuries, and they don't have these services. So we would like to focus on Northern Colorado, really. and address the need here.
Is your business model written, and can you release that?
We do not have a written business model that I can release.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Steve Keats. I'm on it with I should say with a group called Advocacy Network on Disabilities. I'm the chairman, the vice chairman sitting over there, and we had a lot of concerns in the housing and homelessness as it is. But I do got two questions for Sarita. And number one is how much is how are you going to remodel them? Number one. And number two is that have you ever thought of building, because there used to be a big lot not too far from Hope Apartments that, and now I've seen that excavating it. But has your board ever thought of maybe acquiring that land to build something like Hope Apartments? Because you don't, this is my personal opinion, and that is, did you really think about it? Because how you uproot people from their home that they've been there for years, how would you like that done to you or your anybody in your family? I think it has a lot of physical and mental effects.
Am I okay here?
Yes.
Okay. So let me answer the second part first. Yes, we did think about it, and just to let you know, I have a son who has cerebral palsy. I have a sister who has intellectual disabilities who lives in India. I just got back from India. I had to go there to move her from a place that she's lived in for 12 years and move her to a new place, get her settled into that new place. We were looking for places from here because the three of us, my other sister also doesn't live where my youngest sister who has a disability lives. So I get it, and we did think about it. It's not that we did not think about it. This was, as I said, a process that the board went through. There was a committee that looked at this, which included, like I said, people like Jody Hartman, who is, people here are very familiar with, who knows the housing market and that kind of thing. As far as your question on how do we plan to renovate it, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you need everybody out. So are you going to just tear the whole insides and remodel, or are you going to do apartment by apartment?
No, so there is, we do need to have everybody out, and this is not something, I'm not a builder, I'm not a construction expert, so I'm not the one who made that decision, neither is it individual members of my board who made that decision. As Stacy said, we are getting professional opinions on this, and we've talked to architects and builders, and they have suggested we've got to up the safety level of Hope Apartments as well. There's got to be additional sprinkler systems put in and that kind of thing, and we've been told that we cannot do that with people in the apartments.
Oh, and also too, I understand that you had one elevator that wasn't working real good recently.
Yes, one of the elevators, we actually, when Hope Apartments was built, there was no elevator. Then they put in an elevator, and there was just the one elevator. And then we had a situation when that elevator broke down, and we couldn't get the parts and couldn't get it fixed for a while, and so people on the upper floor were really inconvenienced heavily. And so we got another elevator put in, a platform lift put in on the outside of the building, which was the only way that we could do it. And I believe it's that one that did not work real well in this, the last month or so. And again, it's still not working. We're still waiting on the parts to come in so we can do, so we can get that fixed. But we've got another elevator in the building now.
Thank you. We're going to go to one question that I have online, and then we're going to keep going from in person. This is for Doug from Karen Banks. Did any of the apartments you see have roll-in showers?
Okay, Karen Banks is my sister. She lives in Yorkshire, England. And from all this distance, she's still concerned about her brother. The answer is, There are 2 complexes in Greeley that have all accessible units, including the key roll-in shower. For people like me and Deb, just having what they call an ADA unit doesn't mean a shower. It means 36-inch doorways, a ground level entrance, and that's about it. They do not have a roll-in shower. They have regular bathtubs, except these 2 apartments called Fox Run and Twin Rivers. Those 2 are run by, it's called Accessible Services, Inc., and that's their specialty. So there are a few other scattered roll-in showers, but mostly those are not available.
Those relatives, they always show up for you. That's good. Juliana.
Hi, I have a couple comments. One, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Tell me your name one more time.
Julie.
Julie, oh, you think I'd be able to remember that? Okay, so Julie, one of the things that you said was that we need to be able to be integrated into our community. That's not just your need. I need that. All of us need that, right? I need to know you. I need to learn from you. I need to, my life will be improved if you are my neighbor. So I wanted to make sure that that is really understood. Also, Jim, when you were talking about adding, oftentimes in social services, because of the scarcity, oftentimes related to the range of priorities, right, is we're having to choose. Are we helping people who have brain injuries, or are we helping people who have physical disabilities, right? And it shouldn't be one or the other. We need to be doing both. And then finally, I'd like to say that there's a couple different opportunities for grants, which are such a pain, but whatever. That's what our current funding mechanism is. There's a public hearing right now, not right now, public hearing this Wednesday at 4 or 4:30 for the